Turkey season is fastly approaching. It's actually here in just a couple days, and I am going to run through how to make a turkey call. We are starting out with a simple piece of pine. This is a old piece of pine I actually found in the garbage can. Alright, so here's our piece of wood. This box, the inside is going to be 5 3/4 inches in length. You want to leave for the bottom about 1/4 inch. We'll go ahead and start cutting this out now. For the final couple cuts, I'm going to clean it up on the bandsaw. Alright, here's the cutout of the box. So now we need to cut out some sides and then glue those on. For the sides, I'm going to be using this 1/4 inch red oak. All you have to do is lay it on, mark it out, cut it off, and then start gluing it together. Alright, here's our two sides. Go ahead and get some wood glue on them and glue it together. Just want to make a quick note on this. It's wise to rough those edges real quick. Just give them a good sand. Alright, the glue I'm using is waterproof glue. And you're just going to run a bead like that. Alright, we're going to clamp this in the vise. Make sure everything's as even as you can make it on the bottom. The top doesn't really matter, but you don't have a whole lot of meat on the bottom to grind off, so do another clamp up top. Alright, and then just let it dry. Give it, it'll probably be ready in the morning to start sanding on. Alright, this turkey call, wood's all dry, so we're going to go ahead and take all the clamps off it and start sanding. I wanted to talk for a second on what I'm doing with this call right now. I am rounding out the edges and the corners and the bottom, and I'm thinning down these sidewalls. These sidewalls need to be pretty thin. I couldn't tell you exactly how thin because I do not have a pair of calipers, but if I'm going to look at it and guess, I'm going to say 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to round the top of the call, so it's going to be lower, higher, and then lower. It's going to be a nice arch, and that arch is going to allow the top of the call to, as you slide it, fall off and create that yelp sound. All right, I got this call nice and roughed out. From here on out, it's a lot of hand sanding. I've got a nice arc to the top of this caul, and I got a bevel here and here, and that's going to be for the lid to sit down in it, because that lid's going to need to be rounded as it falls into the caul. That's what's going to make that yelp sound. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the Dremel and bring it to a nice point at this edge. I want a nice sharp edge for that caul, top of the caul, to slide down on. Alright, now that I got a nice sharp edge on these sides, I'll go ahead and start sanding down the caul, smoothing it out, making it pretty. And then I'm going to add a coat of wax to it. Alright, now that it's sanded down with 80 and 220 grit, I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of wax on it. Not only does the wax add a protective coating to it, but it also makes the caul look really good. The wax I use is just a finishing wax, and it's a natural color I just got at the hardware store. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, let it sit, and then I'll wipe it off. To apply this, I'm just using a rag. Try not to get it along the edge. You get wax up there and it won't squawk the way you want, but you can go back and sand afterwards even if you do. This wax is going to give it the nice natural finish and really bring out the beauty of the wood. Alright, give that a minute. Let the wood absorb that wax, and then we'll come back with a brush and we'll buff it. As the wax sets up and hardens on this caul, it dries, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a piece of pine for the lid. It's important to have a sharp blade. As you can see, this one's pretty dull. It's the day before turkey season. It starts here in Florida, north of Highway 70, I think. I need to get this caul finished. It is windy in the area I'm hunting, so my box caul will actually come in handy. The windier the better for a box caul, so let's buff it real quick with the brush. Take that paintbrush and just apply some pressure and move back and forth vigorously. Whoops. Just threw it on the floor, but it's good. Get that top made. It's rough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to round it out on the belt sander and then make my shape, cut my shape out. Probably just use the belt sander to do the whole thing actually. Gonna go ahead and sink a pilot hole in it. Right about here. I try to use all stainless in everything I do. Everything gets covered in salt down here. And mind, this has no chalk on the bottom of the lid yet, so let's get some chalk on it. The chalk I'm using is just regular old schoolhouse rock chalk. The stuff you'd find on the chalkboard. Just rub that on real good. I'm not real finicky or picky on what I use, just as long as it works. That's all that matters to me. The most part of this call is almost done. I'm gonna go ahead and buff this lid real quick. Same technique, using a brush. Quick touch on the side here. Got some wax on the bottom, so again, just use the sandpaper. Knock that wax off. Chalk the bottom. All right. I always put a rubber band on my calls. That's why I put the big handle on it. You can gobble it. Probably need another rubber band. That one's a little small, but also lets you run it with one hand. I can literally play with this thing for hours. This is the turkey call. It drives my wife nuts because I sit in the house all the time playing with the turkey calls. So come out here and I'm sure all the neighbors can hear me around here. Just peacocks love it. All I'm doing is letting the rubber band do the work, pushing it out and letting it slide back. I'm gonna take it out tomorrow and see what it can do. Hopefully get a turkey. Call a turkey. Talk to a turkey. I don't really care. Just as long as the turkey talks back, that's all I care about. Stop moving. We just scared a hen. He's about 30 yards away. It was just a hen. There's turkeys here, so. Hey man, can you hear me? Man, can you hear me? Get your knee up, get your gun up on me. We're at our second spot. Pretty nice area. Got our decoy set up right there. See what happens. Yesterday was a pretty good day. Got to see a lot of wildlife. We did have a hen bust us. We had another group of turkeys come through. There might have been a couple jakes in that group. It was hard to tell. They were moving through very thick brush. I put my mouth call in a little earlier when I thought I saw some movement coming from behind us. My mouth call, the reed, actually split. So I had some pretty pathetic turkey calling. Don't rip on me too hard for some of those little squeaks I did. We moved to the second spot. The second spot was nice. We did not see any turkeys there. We did hear a gobble pretty close by, so we decided not to move from that spot, and we had some pigs that worked by us. It was mama moved by with some babies. We saw a couple groups of pigs. I got one on video moving by. It was pretty bad videoing. It was about 70 yards away, but I hope you all enjoyed the video, watching me make the call, taking it out. I'm gonna definitely try and get out there again and try and make a video where I'm using the call and I get to harvest turkey. That'd be absolutely awesome. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Give this video a like, subscribe. You know what to do. Thanks for watching, y'all.